Aloha everyone, Joshua Hayes at BigWaveTrading.com. This video might go a little long, but I want to go over everything. First things first, very good session on Friday. On my end, with my personal long positions, and after all of the work I had to do this week, thanks to these two above average volume sell-offs as you see in the SPY, one immediately following the Memorial Day weekend. And then I finally learned today why volume was so heavy yesterday in the market. Morgan Stanley Capital rebalance. So it's like the Russell 2000 rebalance, but it was via the Morgan Stanley Capital indexes and ETFs that they run. So that now makes complete sense. I was just totally thrown aback to why volume was higher yesterday. But today, excellent immediate reversal of that. While the Russell 2000 was strong today, it didn't completely recover all the damage done the day before. Intraday, though the session was very constructive and individual stocks led, and more importantly, the index that I wanted to see follow through with a rally to start coming up behind the Russell 2000, that led today, the NASDAQ. And what's funny is that intraday, I watch all of the 1-minute charts on the Qs, the SPYs, DIs, and IWM, and after the initial morning around the 9:35 area, the Qs broke out on heavier volume after a lower volume pullback. Can't remember last time I've seen that immediately out the gate. Then around the 10 to 10:30 half hour, the Qs broke out to new highs on very strong volume. I haven't seen that since January, and I don't even think I really saw that in January. I can't remember. I wasn't really watching these SPY put and call options. By the way, the call options today that we tracked from the morning moved at one point intraday over 100%. So once again, those SPY options, if you can play them correctly, that's the way to get some massive alpha in this lame tape, because as you can see, the spiders has just been lame all year long. S&P 500 only up 2.5%. My portfolio is now almost up 10% year to date. Massive gains today on my end, thanks to the Qs and the Russell 2000. Overall, though, everything looks good, but there were some sell signals. Only a few stops triggered intraday today. The stops that did trigger, they only raised 1.2% capital on my end. So that capital that was raised is going to be split up evenly amongst the 7 quality signals, 3 new 4 ad signals this weekend. But first, I want to go over the sell signals. First things first, QID. Immediate 50% sell signal, get on that add, that hedge, which is what you want to see. That means all of our long positions are working. Beautiful. With it closing at 41.50, it barely avoided a full sell signal. It would have needed to close 41.48. So on an end-of-day basis, it's a 50% sell signal. That means you move half. Everyone, please listen. Half of whatever you're still long goes to 1 cent below this low a day, and your final cut loss is 1 cent below 41.48 on an intraday basis if you use good to cancel sell stop orders. The only other 50% sell signal, SCDG, and that's a 50% on a closing basis because it closed at 54.70 above 54.60. But intraday, it traded down to 54.15, hitting my final sell stop, so I am all out of SEDG. If you're trading on an end-of-day basis, then 50% sell signal today, and then whatever you have left, if all of a sudden you want to use stops, 50 cent goes below today's low a day, or actually all of it needs to, because it eclipsed the low a day of 54.60. So now if you're still long SEDG and you decide to use a good to cancel stops, 54.10, that's it. Hits 54.10, you're completely out. But on an end of day basis, this will not be a 100% sell signal until it closes below 54.60. So I'm completely out, but on an end of day, 50%. Now, for the 100% sell signals, SQQQQ, when that went off intraday in the morning, I knew, wow, finally this market might be ready to move higher. All out of SQQQ intraday, final sell signal, closing below the signal date's low a day. 8% loss on that end. And then SSG, which I've already been completely knocked out of, that's a full sell signal on an end-of-day basis, closing below that low. I believe from there to there, that's a 21% loss on whatever shares you would have left, which you shouldn't have any left if you're using the stops, which is why I always use stops. And then stock-wise, only 3 full sell signals. That's it. And they're all oil-related. Two of them recent long positions, and one stock that we were long from back here. We're able to take out gains along the way as it pulls back. This is why I always trail stops higher. Trail stops higher to here. I get knocked out of some this day. Have some stops here. Got knocked out that day. Then right after this day, move more stops up to here. Got knocked out this day. Back here, stops, got knocked out of those stops. Those stops right here got knocked out intraday with there. Then more stops get raised, got knocked out of those intraday today. So now with CJ, whatever I have left, it all goes to this low a day -1. So for the rest of what I have left of CJ, I think it's like 12, 13 shares, something like that. 25.82. EGN, a new long position. Remember, initially, half goes here, half goes here. But what have I said? It loses its catalyst or does it on heavy volume or both? Especially if it does both, I move up all my stops. And that's what you have today. You have a failed the first stop level on not only heavier volume, but lost green bop. So what I have left all goes to 1 cent below this low right here, 63.89. And WHD, immediate failure. Once again, said if it loses that first stop level, with either losing the catalyst, the green bop, or on heavier volume, I raise all of my stops. That's no exception. So I was knocked out intraday of a quarter of my position when it moved below this low. But the stop that I have here, here, and here, all three now get consolidated to 1 cent below this low, 31.51. WHD trades below 31.52. I will be completely out. Now, done with the sell signals. That's it. Oil and hedges. Oil and hedges. Any other stock in any other sector, zero sell signals. Incredible. On top of that, I'm tracking 270 names on an end-of-day basis, and do you know how many I flagged for stop adjustment review? I'm going to show them all to you. The new long CASM. I'm splitting my stops up and moving one to below today's low a day. So I think now I'm going from 3 to 4 stops. MODN. Lost its green bop catalyst. Now I'm splitting my stops up and moving one to below today's low a day. CARB hit one of my stops intraday today, the stop that I moved here from yesterday's heavy volume sell-off. Remember, any stock that sold off yesterday on heavy volume, I split up my shares and raised it one stop here. Did that. Now it has red bop, also did it on above average volume, so I now have a stop here. My final stop is here, and I got a ton of stops along the way at these major bop change levels and support price levels. Then there was sale, heavier volume today, so I split my stops up, move one to today's low day. NCS clipped one of my stops intraday, but now I split up what I have remainder and put 1 cent below that low. It's a 5-cent stock, so 5 cents. Etsy had a stop, split my stops up after this update right here, split my stops up and moved one to below the pocket pivot point signal day. Now following today's heavy volume sell-off, I want to make it symmetrical to that low and then the recent lows right here, this. So now I want to have another symmetrical stop, so I'm splitting it up again and moving one to right there. That's it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stocks out of 270 I'm tracking that even need to have their stops adjusted. Amazing. So for the new long signals, COOL, WRD, and CSTM. COLL is from the Perfect Speculator scan. It was confirmed in the price volume BOP surge scan. Not extended from any moving average, so it should be 1.5% of my account capital. Limit order 2472. Then 4 stops initially: 2206, 2163, 2080, and then all the way back here to 1936. I can't even come close to getting a full position, so I'm definitely going to give this stock to work. But with the stock being up 7% today, even if you use 1.5% of your capital, your max pain loss per position might be a certain dollar amount. And even though this is 1.5% capital allocation per position, it's up 7%. So just to cut loss down to this level, just the first stop, might be a dollar loss amount that might be more than you're willing to take. So remember, just because I say that something's worth, something's 1.5%, you could do 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, but you need to check the dollar loss amount. So for instance, that one's a 1.5% signal, but my ads in Holly is a 1, Zine is a 1, and RP is a 1. You'll notice on all of those, if you just use to the close of yesterday, 2% risk, 1.8% at risk, 1.60% at risk. just another 0.5% more, and you got call, 7% risk. So keep all that in mind. Do your due diligence, research, know your risk at hand, your inherent risk before you're wrong. Know what you're doing at all times. Don't just blindly buy these signals. I'm never bearish. I am never bullish. I never like one stock more than any other stock nowadays. I just obey the signals. So call 1.5% using those stops. The next new long position, CSTM. Also from the Perfect Speculator scan. This one was not confirmed anywhere. It's slightly extended from its 20-day moving average. So 0.5% of my account capital. Limit order 12.15. First cut loss 11.80. Second cut loss 11.65. Final cut loss 11.15. And then the final new long position, it's technically the best one. It's can slim quality, high can slim quality, huge earnings and sales growth in the most recent quarter, and it's Perfect Speculator. But so that should be a 1.5% of my account capital, but it's extended from the 20-day moving average, so 0.75% of my account capital. Once again, I can get nowhere near this kind of allocation because I only raised 1.2% account capital today. That's it. I raised 1.2% capital. That means I got to put right around 0.25% into all these new long positions, more like 0.20% into all these new long positions. But WRD 27.42 is the limit order. First cut loss 26.24. Second cut loss 25.18. Final cut loss 23.81. And then the ad signals, Holly, RP, Zine, and RibT. Holly, RP, and Zine are all 1%ers. RP's can slim. It was confirmed in 2 other scans. Zine is Perfect Speculator, confirmed in 2 other scans. Holly is can slim, confirmed in 2 other scans. Holly was confirmed in 2 BOP scans. Zine was confirmed in 2 BOP scans. RP was confirmed in the price and volume BOP and BOP 5 scan. RP limit order 60. Cut loss levels 58.30, 56.95, 56.30. Zine limit order 575, the high of the day. First cut loss level 540. Second cut loss level right there for me 515. Final cut loss level 445 or 440. I'm using 440. It's up to you. Once again, on all of these, everyone, I prefer you only until you completely understand what I'm doing with this methodology, until you get it 100% of the way, how I raise my stops, even if the stock moves up or down, doesn't matter what it does, I'm always raising stops. Just initially obey the first stop loss level, especially in the market. We're in the bullish period of June, July. We should be moving higher immediately or else something is wrong. Holly, 1% of my account capital, 24.34, 23.71 your first cut loss level, your gap fill at 23, and then 21.54 currently is my final stop. I might actually split this up into 4s and put one right here too. Nope, not going to do that. It's too close to the last one. So 3 stops on Holly. And then RibT, another ad. Once again, love the Zoom 3 chart. Nice steady uptrend on its 50-day moving average. Just a lot of green BOP. Really like the Zoom 4 chart. So Zoom 3 is pretty. That's why I'm posting it along with the Zoom 4 to show you on multiple time frames. This looks good on a longer term and shorter term basis. That's why I'm posting them both. But RibT, in my new high scan, price volume burp scan, green BOP for the past 5, max green BOP for the past 5 days, X Perfect Speculator stock. It moves up 5%. It'll be a current Perfect Speculator stock, so it's a future Perfect Speculator stock. Limit order 163. First cut loss of these lows 157, and I currently have a second cut loss at 151, and my final cut loss at this green BOP low of 143. All right, everybody, long video, but it was worth it. The New York Stock Exchange advanced decline line is sitting at all-time highs. It hit new all-time highs 2 days ago, pulled back with the Thursday sell-off, hitting new all-time highs again on Friday. The IBD put-call ratio closed at 0.81. It's still elevated. I just looked at the CNN Fear and Greed Index, and it's at a neutral 53. It's not like we're at a 100 where the crowd is greedy. So there's definitely room for this thing to move. We'll see what happens on Monday. Very, very busy week with stop adjustments. Paid off. Only have 6 to work with tonight. Only have those 7, 50, and 100% sell signals. This is about as good as it gets. If the market breaks out higher here, my portfolio and your portfolio should be rocking. All right, everyone. Have a great weekend. Aloha.